All right, let's go on to the next person on the Pelican Postgame Report player profile preview and recap. Let's go, DC. Let's go into and talk about the ever present question mark of a player named Devonte Graham. How about that?
Sheesh.
240 games, DC averaged 13 points per game during those 240 games over his career. 2.5 on the rebounds, 5 assists flat for Mr. Devonte Graham, the 6'1", 195-pounder. For the Pelicans last year, had 76 contests. He averaged 12 points a game, DC, with 4.2 assists. And you can look at those numbers and say, damn, Devonte Graham was, he took as far as his career statistics, averaging 13, took 1 point back. But those are not bad numbers if you hadn't watched Devonte Graham up closely. It was a lot of stuff that Devonte needed to work on. But let's talk about his contribution from this past season and his role going into the future, Mr. Devonte Graham.
Man, I talk about his past and future, but if I had one word to describe his season, I would say heartbreaking. Man, we had such high hopes for Devonte. We seen him at times early in the season kind of fulfill it, which I think why a lot of people were so disappointed and hard on him, because you've seen him come out on certain nights and really be that guy. Looking for that Devonte Graham you saw with the Hornets at times when we needed that, and he just kind of couldn't live up to it, man. And the shift, to me, I still think he had a chance until this happened. They made a very good decision, but man, it affected Devonte Graham heavily when we finally decided to play Jose Alvarado. The first game we played him, Jose kind of stepped up, did some things, fought for those minutes. I don't remember what game it was, but I will never forget this state. Jose had a good game, previous game. We went to the next game. Devonte Graham maybe dropped 25, 23 points or something. Man, real solid game. We got the W. And he said, they asked him, they said, what got into you tonight? Something like that. He said, man, my mama texted me at halftime, that boy gonna steal your spot. Said, God damn, boy, mom's crucial. Huh? She really texted him that. And he went to balling out, that one game, but just after that, things were never the same, Q. It was never the same, man.
Right.
Just him having that type of pressure, man, and the player Jose Alvarado is, man, he stole his spot. But with that being said, we do have to remember some of the things Mr. Graham did here. I would never forget that Utah shot he hit, man, for the rest of my life. As a Pels supporter and part of the flock, would never forget that, man. That shot right there was potentially the turning point for the season, if we're gonna be honest. And we called it here that night. And Devonte Graham was a sole part of that. So I can't just, I guess talk all negative or clown the brother, because I think he has tremendous talent. When I say tremendous, I mean tremendous. He has a great deal of talent. This brother is very skilled. He's very capable. But him being able to put it together and be efficient, I think he's going to have to learn a lot more of the game, or learn how to fit into the system that Willie Green wants to run here. And if he's able to do that, man, I mean, Devonte Graham may be sticking around. But what I will think is going to happen is they will definitely give him a shot. I don't think we're going to trade him in the offseason or anything like that. I think they're going to give him a chance, and possibly a guy we move before the trade deadline or something if it isn't working out. But he's going to have a limited role, obviously. Jose Alvarado has to have minutes. You're going to have to give Kyra some type of minutes to work him into the groove, and and then you on this short lease, man. So he's going to have to play excellent under pressure, because he's going to be under a lot of it next season, and he's going to have to become that sharp shooter, because that's the one thing we need. If Devonte Graham can become a sharp shooting ace, man, and just efficiently knock down those 3-pointers, Pelicans will kind of be forced into a situation where all this trade Devonte stuff gonna go out the window. But anything short of that, Devonte Graham is looking like a guy that'll be part of a salary cap for us to move for. I don't even think it would take an amazing player, depending on what the guys under him do in our draft pick. I mean, if you got all of these young guys that are just playing amazing, I don't even think the Pels would look for a bunch back to move him. If that's the case, they would literally just be trying to get off his money. So hopefully the brother can get things together. I definitely like him here. I think it could work. Honestly, I do understand we got him, Jose, and Kyra in that game of musical chairs. I don't think there's any way we keep all three of them.
No.
Depending on who we draft. Now, depending on who the Pels draft, that may change the narrative. But if we draft anybody, that's what I think they need. They need a combo guard. And I'm basically calling out Devonte Graham. If we're going to be honest, we need somebody versatile that could come in and get a bucket and be efficient and play some defense. I mean, that's the role that he needs. Preferably hit three-pointers too. That would be his role. So his head is definitely up on the chopping block. But with a full off season with Zion Williamson, we have no idea what this is going to look like. I'm not fully sleeping on Devonte Graham, even though I don't expect it out of him. But I know he's capable after seeing what he did in Charlotte. And I wouldn't be surprised if he came out balling the hell out. And even in that case, depending on what we draft,
they'll just make his trade value even that much better. Yeah. If he comes out and ball out, they'll just elevate his trade value on teams more. You want Devonte Graham the ball. I think in terms of Devonte Graham, the writing's on the wall. I think it's only a matter of time before the Pelicans, whether they move him early or closer to the trade deadline. Devonte Graham is on his way out. The contract. Let me ask you this, Q. I mean,
this is pretty much what we all think.
Well, I mean, Jose Alvarado makes it difficult to keep him because Jose Alvarado has gained a bit of stardom. He got a snappy nickname. He plays hard. He's kind of like a Puerto Rican Patrick Beverly. People love his style. People love Jose Alvarado.
Puerto Rican Pat Beverly. He called himself the light-skinned Pat Beverly, bro.
Right. I can get with that. I agree with him. He is, and that's the thing that makes him interesting. Plus the fact that the money makes Graham tough. I mean, if he was supposed to be the man that comes off the bench and scores you a bunch of points. Now he did average 12 points a game, but it was a very inconsistent 12 from Graham. He disappeared a lot in several. Not he didn't have a bad overall season, but it was definitely a season in which we were expecting more from Devonte Graham. Go ahead with your question, DC. What you
got? Do you see any situation where the Pelicans can keep Devonte Graham on his team and into the future?
Injuries occur to the point guard position. Whether KLJ is not ready, he has a setback in his development and getting there. Perhaps they keep him around, but I think they'll look at KLJ with a higher ceiling than Devonte Graham. And you mentioned it, even though it's like $11 million, we have the contract numbers of Devonte Graham's a deal on the screen right here, and that's what I was putting up as you was talking. 4 years at $47.3 million. This upcoming year is $11.5 million, and then of course in 2023 and 24 it goes up to 12.1. Then in 24-25, 12.6. Now he averages 11.8 per year, but still in all, you're going to see his minutes go down because of Jose Alvarado.
And whoever we draft. I mean, we get a combo going.
That's a part of his makeshift too. I mean, he's not the thing that makes Devonte Graham hard pressed to stay in the Pelican uniform is the fact that he must increase his defensive ability, which he's not a very good defender. I mean, he was okay in spots, but he needs to get stronger. And if he's not scoring, he is not an asset. If that's a part of Graham's game, he's a scorer. If he's not scoring for you and he's struggling scoring the ball, his defense is not going to pick up and help you. He'll have an effort there, but that's just not a part of his big game. So a lot of 6'1" guards there in Graham because of his money and the fact that more upside on KLJ. Jose Alvarado is outplaying him and he has a cheaper deal. Forget about it. Yeah. So it's only a matter of time for Devonte Graham. And then perfect.